Hi my loves, Annie here. You're welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today we are going to be achieving this flawless bit. First, we'll start by cleaning off her face. Remove every dirt and oil from her skin. You want to start on a very clean canvas. Then we'll spray her face for more hydration, and we'll go in with our moisturizer. For today, I'll be using the Embryolisse moisturizer. I really love this moisturizer. This serves as a primer as well. If you have a normal skin, then I go on to, correct her face. So I did her color correcting because she has a lot of breakouts and I want this look to be flawless, if you know what I mean. We'll go on to correct all the pigmentation on her face. I just use my brush and I'm using the shade, this peachy blush shade from ZK Cosmetic. This is in their Golibe palette. I really like this palette if you see how much I've used it. And I just continue, covering her pigmentation, correcting it and all of that. This will help your makeup look very flawless. It will help your foundation look smooth. It will just make everything look put together. That is done. We went over to her foundation. So just blend. You see how it's coming together, ba? That's what you want. That's exactly what you want. So she has a yellow undertone, and due to the color correcting I did, it's making her color tone change. So I had to add a little bit of a yellowish foundation so I can get her perfect undertone. So once I've done that, I just went ahead to blend and just keep blending until I make sure everything is coming together. Everything is put together. Do you see how flawless? Do you see the match to her skin, to her chest area, to her neck? Exactly. That's what you want. Blended, sweet, sumptuous. So went over to her blush. I'm using the CPD blush palette. I'm using this orange shade. If you see from the palette, you see how much I've used this blush, how much I've used the blush. That's how good this blush is. And I've used mostly few shades in it because those are my fave. So I just went ahead to blend. And of course, you can't forget to apply it on her nose. Very important. So I went over to do her concealer. I'm using my brush. This brush is a flat angled brush from what's it called? Real Techniques. I really like this brush for applying concealer. It's so good. It just gets it to the area I want perfectly. It's like a blending brush, but it's very angled, so it just gets the details. You understand? It gets to those tiny corners of her nose, everywhere. So I like to use the brush to apply her concealer. So I'm using the Avour concealer here. I really like Avour concealer. Avour concealer is a Nigerian brand. It's called Avour Cosmetics. So I'm using their concealer. It's a Nigerian brand and they are very good. Very affordable as well. So I just use the brush to, apply the concealer in all the areas I want before I go over to blend it with my beauty blender. So I just make sure it gets to all the area that I want it to get to first. You see, adjust her face and start blending. So I mostly start blending from the jaw just because I like under her eyes to, stay a little bit longer just so I'll get that full coverage. So I start to blend from her jaw, then I'll work my way up. That's the best way I do my blending. And if you notice, I blend from the outer corner to the inner corners. I don't start from the inner corners. And as I was blending, it wasn't, the under eye is not as full as I want it to be. So I just left it first. I went ahead to do my forehead, bridge of the nose before I come back to under her eyes, and I just blend. This blending now, I'm just like, dabbing it into her skin, pressing it into her skin. Don't rub, guys. And you have to be very, very careful under the eyes how you blend. If not, your under eyes is going to look patchy. And you don't want under your eyes to be patchy. You want to have a flawless finish, so you don't want anything that will make your under eyes look patchy. And be very, very careful in your blending. You don't want to over blend and you don't want to under blend. So you have to blend to get your perfect result, but don't over blend to the extent that you wash off the concealer from under her eyes. Do you see? Beautiful, gorgeous, sweet. So I just go over to like add to the other side of the beauty blender or beauty sponge, whatever you call it. I just went to the other side. I using applying her blush to just, redefine the blush, because the concealer obviously has entered into her blush, and I just, blend side by side of her jaw just so you have the definition. And I, of course, you can't forget, I need to snatch her nose. So I went ahead to snatch her nose. Do you see? I love skin work. I love skin work. I love doing skin work. I love the magic, you just see it. It just happens right in front of you. So of course I use my brush to define her nose, then use my beauty blender to blend it properly, and I go in with my hydrating mist to set the cream products in place before, using my powder product to set the cream product again. If you do this step, your makeup, I assure you, it will be in place all day. I just recently started using this. I just recently started doing this technique, and I assure you, I love it. I love it. Like, your cream products will come together. Once you're done with your cream, your cream blending, you're done with your skin work, just before you start blending it with your dry product, just use your hydrating mist and set it. And for today, I use the Flawless Ivy Hydrating Mist. I like it. So it has been working for me. So yeah, I'm just using it, and I'm setting her concealer, all the areas I concealed. Look at that laugh, like rabbit. So I'm just, setting all the concealed areas just to mattify them. I'm just using my setting powder to mattify all the areas I applied concealer on, and I'm doing this layer by layer. Don't go with too much product at first, please. When you pick your setting powder, dab it at the back of your palm before you set under her eye. So you do it layer by layer. Once the skin is absorbing the powder, you can now go in with more powder under her eyes. So you want to do this step by step. You don't want to rush. If you go in with chunks of powder, it's going to kick. So once I'm done setting under her face, under her eyes, and all the areas I conceal, I went on to bronze her skin. I'm using the Flawless Ivy. I've forgotten the shade of this particular compact powder, but I really like this compact powder for contouring or bronzing for dark light skin. I love the undertone of it. It's very, very beautiful. I love the undertone. I love how good. Do you see how good it is? Yeah, I love it. So I just go on to, do the dry contouring for her, because I want this makeup to eat. Like, I want it to eat. I want everything to be in place. I want it. You see my face? See how focused I am? Yeah, see how serious I am? Yes. So I just go on to set all the areas I want. So I use my dry product to set them in place, just to hold them in place and make sure everything looks good. After that is done, oh, look at my baby. She looks so good. After that is done, I use my CPD blush palette to just, redefine her blush. I'm using the orange tone because I want her to have this, this sun-kissed look. This is the first time I'm using like a orange, only orange color, because I used the orange cream blush, and now I'm using the orange dry blush to set the blush in place. And of course, you can't forget the nose. I went ahead to set all her face before going to baking. This has to be my favorite thing to do during makeup. I don't know, it's so therapeutic, and it just make your makeup look snatched. In my opinion though, it just make your makeup look so snatched. It just make your face look good. So gorgeous. I love it. So I just went ahead to, bake her face, and of course I use this process to, snatch her nose properly, because I like a well sculpted nose. So of course I went ahead to, scope her nose and bake her face. All the rest of her face that I want, the middle part of her face, that's the place I bake, just so the middle part, I want it to be bright. Not so bright, but bright enough. Yeah? Yes. So step by step by step, her forehead, bridge of her nose, all the areas you usually highlight, that's where you bake. So I bake. Oh, look at that look, coming beautifully together. I just love how good this makeup is. And then I did my reverse contour. I just want her to have like a properly sculpted face, like a very, very sculpted, defined face. So once that is done, we'll go straight to eye pencil. I'm sorry I didn't have like a detailed tutorial for her eyebrow, but if you want to see an eyebrow tutorial, an updated eyebrow tutorial, let me know in the comment section. So I just went ahead to like blend her concealers, and then I'm using the Bcham eyeshadow primer here for her eyeshadow, for her eyelids. I'm just using that to, I'm just using that as the base. After then, I'm using the same powder I used to, contour her face. I'm just using it as a transition shade, and I'm blending that into her eyebrows, just using that to define the nose even more, and just, get the scope, get it into, just let that in the inner corners of her eyes, let them look very, very defined and a little darkened. This step just make your eyeshadow look put together, and it just make your eyebrows look fine and good, and it gives it a very, very natural look. So I'm using this shade as a transition shade as well, for a transition shade for her eyeshadow. So I'm just blending. I'm doing a very soft matte look for her. Nothing too crazy, nothing too serious. Something very, very, something very soft but glammed. That's what I'm doing for her eyeshadow. And everything is coming together. I'm just blending everything together. I'm just making sure that everything looks sumptuous. Everything look delicious, everything look good. So I'm just blending. I'm using, this is a smaller blending brush. It's not a big blending brush, it's a fluffy brush, but it's a little bit dense. Not, those brushes that they'll carry product, but they are not too dense to pack too much product, and they are not too fluffy to put the products everywhere. So it just gives you precision. And this brush is a bit curved, so it helps me, define her nose as well. So it just does the work perfectly for me. I recently got this brush set, this pink brush set from AliExpress. I got it a few months ago, and I've really been using the life out of this brush. I really love it. So after that is done, I just went to her main color. The main color of the eye is a nude peach from the Huda Beauty palette. I like this palette. I like the shades in this palette, especially the shimmery shades. They are very, very gorgeous. So I'm just using this to mattify her lids. I'm using this as her main lid color. This Huda Beauty is called Mint. I think. I'm not really sure, but I'll have everything written down in the description bar, so do check it out. So I just blend, blend her eyelids, get everything together, everything look beautiful. That's the goal, guys. That's the goal. So you just want your main eyeshadow to pop, so I'm just being careful not to pack chunks of the matte eyeshadow on her lids. So I'm just going little by little, just so it won't look cakey. You get? So once that's done, I went with a darker shade to, define her lids more. This will make the main color pop even better. So I'm just using this at the outer corners of her eyes, and I'm gently working my way into the inner corners of her eyes. This will just make the eyeshadow look even better, and it will give you a better look for her eyeshadow. I'm using a single black eyeshadow to do this step because this eyeshadow is black. When I say it's black, it's black. There are some eyeshadows that they are black, but once you use it, they'll turn into another color. Yeah, this one is not like that. This one is real black. It's very, very black. So I'm just taking very, very little because it's highly pigmented. So I'm just taking very, very little to, do what I'm doing. So you can see right now, beautiful. I use the brush I use first to blend it because I don't want any harsh line there. I want it to look smooth. I want it to look clean. I want it to look put together. So I continued blending until I'm satisfied. So this step there's nothing too crazy about it. It's just blending. Especially when it comes to eyeshadow, all you need to do is blend. Blend, blend, blend. That is just the key to, having the most flawless eyeshadow is your blending technique. There is no special technique. It's just know how to blend, know the angles you want, know how you want it to look, and just keep blending. Just blend to your satisfaction. Blend until you achieve what you want to achieve. Like in this situation, I've blended and it just looked like I've over blended it, and I want it to be like more like a smoky eye. At this point, I realized I want it to be even more smoky, so I just went into with that black eyeshadow I used first to just like create this wing, and I asked her to open her eyes, then started the wing from like beneath her lower lash and just dragged it upward and then blend it into her crease. So this now would just make it have like a very black smoky wing. To just make it look black smoky, but it still retain its nude state, but it still has this, smoky look kind of. So that's what I concluded I'm going for, because as much as she's my friend, she has been my client for years. So she has always done a nude, eye look. So I just wanted to go crazy today. Nothing too serious, but I just want her to have like a different look to what you normally have. So once I achieved what I wanted, I just wanted to blend it into her, into her eyelids a little bit, just so you won't see like the harsh line there. So that's just what I'm doing right now. I'm just blending it into her crease, into her lids. No matter what you're doing with your eyes, you want it to look smooth. You don't want anybody to see the beginning and the end of what you did. You want everything to just, transit into the other color and the other color transit into the other color. So I just went ahead and finished the eye look, pop on some lashes for her, and then set the rest of her face. Those areas I baked, I just went in to, press the powder using another powder. So I'm just pressing the powder into her skin to achieve an even under eye. And I went on to add a little bit of blush. Look how it's coming together. And then I set the rest of the face. This will just, you know, make your skin look like skin. Ah, do you see? Gorgeous. So she wants a bold lips. She hasn't done a bold lips before, so she wanted something bold. She doesn't want nude, so I decided to do this combo for her. For me, this has been my personal favorite combo for a while now. I really love this combo. So it's a very, very brown or dark chocolate and a little bit of red in the middle of my lips. So this has been my fave. So I decided to try it on her today. And I'm not going to lie, I fell in love with it. I love it even more. I just went ahead to use this to line the top and bottom of her lips, line it properly. I'm just being careful because she has a very small lips and I'm not using a brush. So any small mistake here, we are doomed. So I'm just using this to line it properly to achieve what I want. So I'm using it to line as much as I'm using it to blend, as well as blending it together. So once I did that, I just went in with the red. The red seemed like it's a matte red, but seemed like it's finishing. But I had to make do with what I have. I went in with this, my blush, to just blend it together. And voila, you guys. I went on to, you know, apply a little bit of mascara under her lash, like her bottom lashes, just to remove all those powder and make it pop. You guys, this look is giving. It ate. I wanted it to eat and it did, and left no crumbs, of course. So I make sure everything is together, and this is the final look. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.